Welcome to day 9 of the course in Mastery. Today is all about building trust and rapport, a skill useful in any situation, both personal and professional. Tom Wood is going to talk to you about the importance of it, and Nido Qubein is going to explain the difference between merely communicating with people and connecting with them. Here's Tom.
Thanks, Coral. Today I'm going to teach you about the most important skill in the world. Now, in my seminars, I often ask the question, what is the most important skill in the world? I want you to think about that. Write it down in your journal. What one skill would make a huge difference in your life? In my seminars, I hear answers like sales, or influencing people, or negotiating, or loving people, or communicating. And although all of these are important skills, there's a foundational skill that crosses all barriers, crosses all industries, crosses all social strata, makes a difference in everybody's life if they could just learn this one skill. That skill, the ability to build rapport. What is rapport? Rapport is simply the ability to build trust and bonding with other people. That's simple. Advertisers know this. They spend billions of dollars with one goal in mind, to build a brand, to build loyalty to a brand. And brand loyalty is just simply another way of saying trust and rapport. Relationships are also built on trust and rapport. If you think about it, in the beginning of a relationship, two people are constantly building trust and rapport with each other. They're doing the best they can. And then sometimes in a relationship later, we kind of take that trust and that rapport for granted. When the rapport is gone, the relationship is gone. The ability to build rapport makes you an incredible leader, an incredible motivator. I want to give you a quick example of how to build rapport and how not to build rapport. When I was a kid, I used to like to sleep in the morning. And my parents, of course, wanted me to get up. Now, both of my parents had two different ideas on how to get me to get up. The first would be my father, who had absolutely no rapport building skills with me as a child. He'd walk in, bang open the door, and yell, "Up and at 'em, buddy, it's time to go, the bus is leaving." And then he'd go turn on the radio to his station, ba 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 ba, something big band, or I don't know what it was. He'd open up the shade, the light would come flying in, he'd take my sheets, he'd rip them off, he'd go, "Come on, you got 5 minutes, let's go!" Not a lot of rapport. And what happens? What did I do? What do you think? I stayed there as long as I possibly could. I hated him in that moment. That was not how to get me to do something. There was no rapport. On the other hand, my mother would do it a little differently. She'd walk in and slowly open the door. She'd go and turn on my songs just nicely, softly, open the shade just a little so the light covered the room. I knew she was in the room at that point. And then she'd sit on the bed, put her hand on my back and start to rub it. And she'd say, "Tom, it's time to get up." I would scream, I would go, "Oh, okay." Oh. She goes, "Oh, and Tom, if you're not up in 5 minutes, I'm going to send up your father." I got up. I got going. Why? Because my mother knew how to build rapport. She came to where I was in order to take me where she wanted to go. This is not just true in waking kids up. This is true in relationships, in sales, in building a business, in every single thing you do. Building rapport is the most important skill in the world. Now let's go to Coral while she introduces an expert who can help you out more in this process.
Thanks, Tom. Building trust and rapport is important in every area of your life, and this next clip we're about to show you is only going to begin to touch on that philosophy. Tom Wood believes strongly that if you studied just this topic for 1 full year, your life would change forever. For that reason, he's recommended a book entitled Instant Rapport by Michael Brooks to get you started. Today's clip is from Nido Qubein. Nido has an incredible background and is definitely a voice to be reckoned with. He came to the United States as a teenager without any contacts or knowledge of the English language and a mere $50 in his pocket. Yet despite these setbacks, he has become a multi-millionaire business entrepreneur. Let's hear what he has to say.
In this new time zone, you and I have got to learn to go beyond communicating with people to connecting with people. You refer to that as understanding their passion. When you understand someone's passion, you connect with them. When you know what their fears are, their wishes are, their needs are, their aspirations are, you tend to connect with them. So while you and I spend 78% of our time every day communicating with people, different people, as Tony told you yesterday, we must communicate with them differently. The truth is that most people have an efficiency rate of 30% when it comes to communicating. To communicate, all you have to do is speak, listen, observe, and write well. But to connect with people goes way beyond that. Think of communicating as a minimum requirement. It's a C. We don't reward people for a C anymore. Think of connecting as an A. And here's how we connect. We follow the law of identification. The law of identification simply says when something becomes personal, it becomes important. You talk about my family, my future, my retirement, my life, my portfolio. I am invested with you, and I am very interested in what you're talking about. And advertisers understand that. Prudential Insurance doesn't talk about insurance. They talk about owning a piece of the rock. Safety and security, everybody wants. Nobody wants an insurance policy. Eastman Kodak doesn't talk about film or plastic. They talk about memories. Who amongst us in this hall this morning does not want to savor the memories of good times and fun times? And BMW doesn't talk about cars. They talk about the ultimate driving machine, trying to appeal to men going through a midlife crisis, looking for a red car. And have you noticed that McDonald's does not talk about cholesterol? McDonald's talks about the fact that you and I deserve a break today. Have you noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that the emphasis is on today? Do you know why? Because tomorrow you're going to be dead from all that cholesterol. You see, ultimately the most important question is this. How must this person feel first? So this person will do what I want him to do. You know what I discovered? Facts tell, emotions sell. How must this person feel first? I must trust you. I must like you. I must believe that you can save me or make me money. When I feel that way, I'll connect with you. When you understand my passion, you'll connect with me. It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. But somehow, we've got to go beyond this discipline called communicating into this arena called truly connecting with people. I've discovered, ladies and gentlemen, that the best way to get people to pay attention to us is for us first to pay attention to them. I've discovered that the best way for you and I to become interesting is for you and I to become interested. It's not complicated, but it does take a focused approach to applied knowledge to achieve it well.
That's it for day 9. Go get that book Tom recommends, Instant Rapport by Michael Brooks, and start reading it today. Tomorrow, Tom is going to start putting what you've learned to work. In the meantime, have an extraordinary day.